Okay, 1554, good luck. I'll play a Sicilian for this one. So we've not played before, no head-to-head score. 4,300 games, very good. So we're just going to try and develop and get castles. No need to play it too quick, it is a 10-minute rapid game. I'm going to go for this Khan setup, and it gives us a chance to develop quickly. So how do I want to do this? Let's just develop the knight first, and then queen up, knight up, bishop up, castle. That sort of concept depending on what white does. Okay, take. So we'll take in towards the centre. We'll try and push. I mean, we could consider e5. He might want to go a move like f4. Let's just see. So up, trade. I'm going to play d5 just because I might not get another chance to. And then try and develop any trick there. I don't see it. Let's bring knight up and bishop up. He's playing these awfully quick, isn't he? 4,300 games. Okay, let's take there. Hit the pawn. Okay, I think it's safe to castle. Greek gift I don't think does anything right now. But am I in time now to push? I think he's given me a chance to push the pawn here. Yeah, I'm going to push the pawn forward and try and release the bishop this way maybe. So he's playing it crazy fast. Let's move the rook across and maybe queen up. Well, that gives me a chance here, I think, to check and collect. He can't block with the knight. He could with the queen, but that should be a pawn, right? Am I missing something? Maybe, but I don't see it. So let's just check. Hit the pawn. So if we take one, we hit another two. There might be a trick here, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to collect the pawn. If he's got a trick there, I just don't see it. Okay, so does it matter which one we take here? If we go for the outer pawn, we create a passed pawn. But it feels like I should go for the c pawn and try and do something in the middle. If I take, I don't think I'm getting trapped. If I am, I might be, but I don't see it. We've got lots of paths we can run to. Yeah, why is he playing the move so fast? A little bit odd. Yeah, I like the idea of just putting the queen in the middle and threatening to push the pawn in here. I mean, we could have gone here and hit the pawn, but... Ooh, well, I can't take here because I blunder, don't I? But I can push on. Or I can develop the bishop. So do we do that? Bishop up. If he takes, we then get a development move, but it's got to be right, surely, to push the pawn. But he might have knight across, and we can't take because of the back rank, but I guess we could just simply push up. Yeah, I'm going to push the pawn in there. I've just got to shift this bishop somewhere so I connect the rooks. And then there's no one move back rank issue. But it's a 10-minute game this. You've got to try and use your time wisely. Yeah, he's found that move, so you can see he's a decent player. He's found the concept here. So I could drop back. But where can I drop back to safely? I can come across here actually and hit the rook, and then I'm hitting two pieces and threatening to take. That looks nice, doesn't it? We guard our rook, so now we are actually threatening to capture one of the pieces. Rook across, maybe I can shift. So now I think I'm okay to take here. I don't think there's a devastating discovery because I hit the queen as well. No, is it a blunder? I mean, I've got bishop up as well as a development move. He can move his rook and hit my queen. But I think I'm okay to take there, so I'm going to take. Okay. So what do I do with my bishop? I'd like to go one of these, but they're both covered. Here, he just pushes. Here, I'll lose my pawn. So nothing great right now. I have to connect, don't I? I've got to move that bishop and connect the rooks to deal with this back rank issue. Yeah, why is he playing so silly fast? He might have just blundered a pawn. Okay, so if I take a pawn, my bishop hangs, but so does his rook with a mate threat. Rook takes, then I just come in, but maybe he's got to move like rook up. Yeah, let's not take any chances. I've got bishop up here and we hit the queen and the rook. That's probably the simplest concept. He's played it far too fast. Bishop up, I just trade. Bishop back, he creates a check threat. So sorry, queen back. So he might have queen back. Whoa, what's he done? Okay, so I'll lose a rook, gain a queen. Gain a rook, lose a queen. It's just a trade, isn't it? Is there any trick there? I don't see it. Lose a rook, gain a queen, gain a rook, lose a queen. This has got to be good for me. We're still a clean piece up. Okay, yeah, so this has got to be winning. I think we just simply collect the pawn here. A nice fancy idea, but it didn't actually achieve anything. Okay, so we need to just make sure we give ourselves a bailout square for the king so we don't blunder the back rank. It is still possible to get the rook to pressure the pawn. He comes forward, so I'm going to come back right bang in the middle and try and pressure the king. If his rook wanders off, then I'm looking at rook up. That's what he's done. So we hit the 2 here, but do I trade? I don't think I should. I think I'll drop back first, and then I'm looking at rook up to hit the bishop and the pawn. I'm just going to calmly push forward there. He's using nowhere near the time that he needs to use here. Okay, so I've got bishop up. It looks nice, doesn't it? I don't see any reason not to play it. Bishop up, rook back. I can guard. I mean, I can just ignore this and develop. Rook takes, rook takes. But I've got an outside pawn, so let's try and keep it at least for a move or two. Okay, he's come forward, so now I'm going to come up and hit the bishop and hit the pawn. Okay, he comes back. So I'm going to collect the pawn. We still guard everything. I think check looks strong here. We can get on the diagonals, right? So here. It's a little bit risky though, a little bit dangerous. I'm going to come across and create a double attack threat. He's just playing far too quick. He's got 8 minutes on the clock. So he's played rook down, so he's targeting the pawn, logical, but he's just unfortunately blundered his rook, although he's got king across to hit my rook, but I can check and then collect. So just look for that move first, and then that ends the game. But yeah, it's just a case that my opponent, you can see he's a decent player. He's just playing far too quick for the time control, but you can see he's very decent though. So unlucky. So let's see what it was in engine language. I'll just pause so we don't accidentally start another game. You can see my opponent's got the fundamentals there, just not played for the right speed for the time. So 39 moves. They're the move times for both players, just far too quick for white there. So we'll just see what the engine eval was. This is Stockfish 17 doing this, and it's especially in the openings. You want to try and learn if you've made any mistakes or blunders early on in the game. So it looks like we've played the ending pretty decently. It's not flagging anything from either of us so far in the end game there. I only play the Sicilian for a bit of occasional variety as well. It's normally the Caro that I would play. Yeah, so we played it very well. 97% versus 88% accuracy. CPL is 12 and 34. Now that's 34 for my opponent. It's actually in line with my average. So it's about like 31, 32 there or thereabouts, something like that. So it's a decent effort. So we're slightly worse out of the opening like you normally would be. And it goes to about here, where we gain a little advantage, but then we've blundered it back or made some mistakes and it's back to level from +1. So we've gone slightly wrong. So we're +1 here. But it's not flagging any bad moves, just for instance castling. It's just the pawn push there we shouldn't have done. We should have pushed the outer pawn. And that makes a difference. I was just trying to get the bishop into play. Maybe it's just the fact that there aren't any good squares for the bishop, so I didn't need to do it. Maybe. The Greek gift idea you've got to look out for, but it's not on while you've only got one other piece to attack with. Not generally. So we've gone back to level here, and then we've just managed to build a gradual advantage up from taking the pawn, and then a second pawn. Pawn push was good. Here, I've gone across to guard here, just so I'm threatening two pieces into capture because I guard the back rank. But then from this point on, the engine's not really flagged anything from either of us, just saying, I've played it as well as I can, my opponent's done the best, but it's not ultimately made any difference because we've managed to play without blundering it away. And this looks like a nice fancy sacrifice from my opponent, a temporary sacrifice, but it's just really swapping material, and we're a bishop up, so it works out well for us. And then in the end, we managed to win the rook, just looking for this nice intermove with the rook check, then guarding it, and then we can take back. And then that ends the game for us, so very good.